Right then, I'm guessing we're live, and let's hope this works out. So, previous stream I did, I tried to build this model in a way that I could cut it out, but it's just too difficult. So just to let you know, I'm going to put this model into a machine and cut it out. And the problem is the machine's not long enough to cut out certain parts, like the antennae and the other bits. And if you remove the antennae and all the other parts, it just looks a bit weird. So I thought I'll try modeling my own of this, and that way it won't be of a mesh, and then I could try cutting it out on a certain machine. On the CNC machine I've got. Now if you don't know what a CNC machine is, it's a machine used to cut out stuff. And you use a computer to control where the cutter head goes to cut out certain material. So yeah, I've given up on this. This is taking for ages, and it's just so much work. There's issues with the mesh, and I can't cut it into pieces so I can lay it flat on the CNC bed to cut out. It's just so much work. Yes. Right then, so what we're going to do here instead is make our own version of B12 that we can actually cut out on the CNC. Now, from what I found out, you can actually cut this out, but it looks a bit naff, and it's not great. So we're going to get rid of this. Don't save, because you're a horrible, horrible piece of garbage. Let's stop, let's make a new sketch, and let's work with this. So, okay, so we know the model we want to make is something along the lines of 10 centimeters across, let's say 8 centimeters in depth, and let's say 70 centimeters in height. Yeah, so let's design this in a square front. So we'll make this simple. So we know that we want it about, let's say 80 millimeters. That, and then we want 100 millimeters here. And then we know we want it 70 millimeters high. Yeah, so we'll call this our bounding box, and then we'll do a feature, we'll extrude that, bring it up about, let's say, 70 millimeters high, and then we'll call this file save as our bounding box. Let's get rid of that, we don't need that. We don't need that either. And we'll call this bounding box. Bounding box. Cool, now we need to make a new file. Make assembly from part. Yeah. So we're going to basically put this bounding box here. And what that will do for us, if we make this float first. Now I know you can say something along the lines of, why can't you just make this in Blender or something? Wouldn't that be easier? Yeah, can't you just make this in Blender? Won't this be easier? Well, the thing is, the machine that I'm using has a certain length that it cuts into, like the depth of which the machine cuts into. So by making something 70 millimeters, I can divide that into 12mm intervals of, so if you use 70 divided by 12, or roughly 6 parts. So let's do 6 times 12. Let's do it here. 72. So let's increase that to. Let's edit the part. We'll see as assembly. And I want to go into the boss extrusion, and let's change it to 72. So that way we've got a perfect thing we can use. Yeah. And hopefully it should look nicer as well. With the other one, I'm kind of guessing it would look good with the other model. So if I did carve on the top, carve on the bottom, I would have to glue them together. And there's no guarantee it'll even look good. And plus I have to make screw holes to make sure everything lines up. It just seems like a lot of work for something that may or may not work. Anyway, so we got that done. Let's make a new part. Get out of this bit. We'll say insert new part. I thought this position was... Hang on, I've got to change this position now. Because it said it was... It said it was in 0. Yeah, now it changed. 0, 0, 0, apply. Okay, there, we sent it now. So let's fix that in place. Let's go here. Let's edit this part. Yeah. And let's make a sketch. Control 8. Okay, cool. So we know that in the bounding box here we have to make our model. And so the idea I had was, let's say we have a normal square shape. Yep. And we can mirror this, so we can just say we can do that, and then we can give it a mouth by simply removing material. Let's bring this all the way to the top. We can remove the back. And we can remove this. Have that extruded upwards. Which goes into the geometric line. Yeah, we can push this thing upwards. Let's push it all the way to the top. Just below. Okay. And then now what we want to do is work along the sides. So what we can say is, let's make a new sketch. Yeah. And then we'll make a line from, let's say randomly here. Let's say to about here. We can make that a curved line instead. Let's make it more of a curve. With a spline. That's not what I wanted. Control Z. Let's use a spline tool. That's okay. Do that, and then we'll go here. So I'm going to remove material from there. Let's feature extrude cut. We want to go all the way to surface of this side. Yep, cool. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. Now what we want to do is find the front of this. We want to extend it out all the way to here. So we want to make a new plane. Let's do evaluate. No, markup. A feature. Feature reference geometry plane. Actually, we don't need to do that at all. We can just click this plane and make a sketch there. Sketch. Do Control 8. And then we want to draw a line in the middle because we want it to be symmetrical. We can say, okay, cool, that works for us. And then we can say something along the lines of let's convert that to a geometric line. Let's push this in. Let's reverse that. Let's go. Okay. Then we want to make a lens around this, so yeah, so we'll go around this again. We'll then say something like sketch. Actually, no. Let's go back into here, edit that sketch again, and then we'll increase the size of this to something like 16 mil. And then we'll go here and make a new sketch on that circle, and then we'll say, okay, I want an offset in the reverse direction of about, let's say, 5 mil. Okay, and then we want to go in a bit because we want to make it. We want to try and make a lens here. So, extrude cut, and we'll go back by 10 mil, 5 mil. Let's now let's go to features. We want to go to geometry, references, plane. Click that. Click that. We've got one in the middle. Cool. And then what we want to say is this and this. I also want to introduce a little bit more of a curve here. So let's make a new sketch. So sketch, put one on top of that, Control 8, and then we can get the spline tool, and then we can click like that, and then you want a bit of a curve to that lens. Let's push that a bit back. Yeah. Alright, so we'll click that, Control 8. Let's get that. Let's trim all this stuff out. Yeah. And then we're going to try and cut that back. So let's do feature, let's do the cut. Okay. I see, it's kind of cool. Yeah. I like 5mm. Looks slightly jazzy. Yeah, I like that. Anyway, so features. We want to. We got that done. We need to get a mouth going. Let's new sketch. Let's give it a little mouth. Let's make it. Wait. Let's. Yeah, so we're gonna make a big one, a big mouth, and then we'll do an extruded cut, like let's say about 5mm. Not too much. Let's do 2.5mm. 2.5 mm. Yep. So we got that going, and then we're going to go deeper into that. So click that surface, sketch, new sketch in there. Control 8 again. We're going to do an offset on the entity, that one, by let's say about 2mm. No, reverse that. Yeah, okay. And we want to go a bit deeper into that. Wait, keep still. Feature, extruded cut. Let's go another 2mm. And then let's do a, what's it called? What's it called? Is it called fillet? No, it's called a chamfer. Yeah. One mm. Try 2mm. Okay. And then in the insides we'll round everything off. So we'll say fillet. There. 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 And finally there. And obviously it's a bit too big. Let's try 2mm. That works. Yeah, well, cool. You can see the personified effect of it already. So yeah, let's just save this part first. Save as bounding box. Let's call this B. Let's give it a number. Let's say B8. B11? Yeah, 11, because it's the one before. Cool, so we got that done. I want to go into the eye and just work on some stuff for a bit. Yeah, we're making a sketch then. Sketch, sketch. Yeah. Because one thing I'm thinking of is maybe make this as a light feature, and then if we have a hole going through it, we can maybe work out how to get a light bulb through, and then I can get a drill to better position it. Okay, let's do the mirroring then. So we want to mirror this. Let's move it up here. Right, so we need to do a mirror. Face to mirror, or plane, is that one. And the geometry we want to mirror is this stuff. Oh, we have to move it up. So that one. Okay. Yeah, so that, those three, okay, they're mirrored. Around the plane of... Oh, that's cool. Control S that, Control 8, and then I want to make a diagonal line here. So that's the, let's fix that. Make that a geometry plane. So the idea I'm having is if we cut this along here as a model, and then we can put screw holes through the top, and then we can line the two sides up. So and let's mirror the entity way about. Okay, so let's try extruding that into the thing. Okay, and then we just want to mirror that feature. Actually, no, I want to round it first. Let's round this. Fillet. Let's round that, round that, round that, round that, and round this edge as well. I want to round this edge as well, and this edge as well. This edge as well. This edge as well. Yeah, is that enough? Hope so. Let's mirror that around the plane of that. Okay. And cool, we got ourselves a unique looking shape. Alright, let's edit this then. Get rid of the fillet. Cool. Great. Okay, so now we got to do the fillets again for this side. File, save all. Nope, don't work. It don't work. Because I'm thinking about splitting on that edge. Oops, sorry, I burped. Okay, so we have the shape of the B12 that we want, or B11 now, because we've renamed it and redesigned it in our own image. Let's split this into parts. So, File, Save, and now we want to divide this into 2 bits. So, let's make some geometry feature, reference geometry plane, that. 45 degrees, without like. No, that's not what I want. Let's try that again. So reference geometry plane, and let's say I want this one like that, but I want it at an angle, not at 90. You might not be able to cut out the T, but it'll cut out the strange curve. Okay, so let's split this up into parts then. So we want to say insert mesh, whatever it's called. Let's just type in split. So we got the trim tool. We're going to cut parts into 2. Assign names. Parts. Call this the front, head, back, head, and okie dokie. Where is it? File, open. So let's do that again then, because split never has done that to me before. So split that. We're going to use the plane as a cutting tool. We want to cut the part. I then want to say front of head, save, yes. I then want to say back of head, yes, replace that. And then we want to say OK. Original part keeps disappearing when using split command in solid work. And then it comes back. Okay, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? I love SolidWorks. How much? Oh, I click consume bodies. God damn it. Cut part. Front head. Back head. Go. Nope, get rid of that. Don't save. Front head, get rid of that. Don't save. Right then, we're going to do that again, because SolidWorks is a pain in the butt. Pain in the boot. So we cut the part into its parts, we then do that. I want it to be the front, yes. I then want it to be the back, yes. Great. Don't consume the parts, please. Propagate visual properties. Good. Give me the front. And give me the two parts together. Cool. Alright, so what we want to do now is we need to figure out a way to line these two up. So when we do come about to getting these two parts together, let's go back. Don't need that. Now because it has that arrow, it means it's still attached to the original object, so we can make changes to the whole assembly and it should still give us the results you want. So get that, we want front plane, do Control 8. I want to bring that out a bit, so let's do reference geometry. Actually no, we need to edit the part first. Edit the part, we then want to say reference geometry, plane, we then want to say, look at the plane here. Offset by 20 mil. Nope, too much. 40 mil. Just about good. Okay. Then we want to do a Control 8. We then want to make sure we have holes that can go from here to here, here to here, and the other side as well. So let's find the parts where there'll be the least amount of material, and then we can work them. So Control 8. We want to then say, because we know that our screw hole is going to be about 3 mil, so we can say sketch on this thing. Yeah, we're on the right one. Control 8. We then want to say, okay, go from here to here. I want to get a circle of about this is 6 mil. Control C, Control V, and that runs along the line as well, but barely. Let's do an extrude cut. Features, extrude cut. Let's click that. Let's make that into a geometry line. Let's fix it as well. Do that. Okay, so we've got holes to line everything up, and I want to mirror that feature. So features, mirror. What do you want to mirror? I want to mirror that hole that I made, that cut hole. Mirror that, and about what plane? Okay. Cool, so we got ourselves a B12, a pretty simple one. Yeah, so we got ourselves a pretty simple B12, and now all we need to do is work out what that depth would be. So if we go into get out of that first, and then we say save all, and then we click on or open the derived parts. So we say open. They should be updated. Ah, it's not updated. yeah, hopefully those propagation, that saves it. Turn to the right. And let's see how far out this actually is. So let's do evaluate, measure. It's about 52 millimeters. So if we divide that into two parts, again, that's 52 is 25 mil. 25 mil. So if we cut it into 12 mil intervals, so if we do 52 divided by 12, equals 4 parts, roughly 4 parts. Okay, so I'm just trying to measure out the parts now to see what they would actually look like. So, as in if they'll fit the machine. So we've got this point here. This distance is 43 mil. Okay. So that means we have to do 12, 12, 12, so 4 12s to get that thing you're talking about right. And that's going to be a lot of work. You're going to have lots of pieces all over the place. You try to make it simple, you end up being more complex than you thought it would be. Okay then. Okay. So what you gonna do now then? Because that's about 43 mil, and your machine, as you know, it doesn't do that. Unless you lift the machine up, then possibly you could do that. But so if you do, okay, let's find out something then. So if we do a 12 mil offset, where are you? Sketch? No. Features? Yes. Reference geometry, plane. And let's say we go in the other direction. $43. Let's do 44. And then if we do 44 minus 12, can that do maths here? 32. So that will be the first layer, and then 32 minus 12 will be the second layer, and then that minus 12 will be 8, and then so on. And bearing in mind the screw holes are there, not here, so lining them up is going to be a pain in the butt. Okay, so how about this then? Forget that all. Just work with these two. We know that there's a clearance of about 40 mil, and we know that the head right now for the thing is about 2 centimeters. So why don't we try, because the actual metal thing touches the bottom thing about 2 centimeters away from the ground. So okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the actual linear actuator of the z-axis has a little metal plate that touches the actual cutter bed, and the cutter bed has a space in there between 2 centimeters or so. So if we can try lifting the whole machine up, because it's attached by 2 bolts from the sides, or 4 bolts from either side, if we lift them up a bit, the z-axis might have some more clearance to extend down a bit more to cut into material. And if I pull the cutter head out to a point where it's just the edge is touching the machine, I might be able to get more material to do an actual engraving. But if I do another engraving, I have to glue plywood sheets together and leave them for a day to cut out. So there's nothing easy here to do. It's all complex as hell. So, fantastic. Yeah, okay. I think that's enough for today for streaming this build. I think what I might do in my spare time is see if I can slice this up into 12mm parts and put a screw head at the top going all the way down to the middle, and then for the other one, the back bit, I might try to remove this T or whatever, or just cut it down from like here. Just remove that whole section there, because I don't think it really needs it. Yeah, let's just take a look what it would look like if it didn't have it. So if I go here, where's the T? So let's try editing that. Let's delete that. Let's go out. Let's go out like that. Out like that. Let's bring that down to just there. And then we want to join that together. And then do that. Let's change that a bit more. .41, let's do 42, 43, 45. Let's update that. Try 50. That's fine. Alright, cool. So that doesn't look too bad. I mean, that'll be like maybe 2 plywood sheets, and then this will be 1 whole one. And then we can get a drill hole or screw hole all the way from the top downwards. So wouldn't that be near the eye then? yeah, I mean, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, we'll save that all. Yeah. Okay, well that cuts it for today. I think that's enough for this stream. I mean, no one's really watching anyway. But yeah, so in case anyone wants to watch it in the future, the idea now is to see if we can make this thinner, so that it can be cut out individually on plyboard sheets of 12mm, because I don't want to glue plyboard sheets together and waste a whole day for them to glue and dry, and then have to just work around and try and fix that all together. It's going to be a lot of work. So I'm going to see if I can try to cut them on 12mm plywood sheets, and then we'll see what goes on from there. So yeah, thanks for watching if anyone is, but bye bye.